So you're starting a YouTube channel. It's really exciting, but it can feel like you've come to a fork in the road. But instead of 2 paths, it's like 1,000. Do I create my channel banner first? Do I need to buy a bunch of equipment? Or should I really focus on making consistent content? And the answer is no, none of that. Do not even upload a video yet. So today we're getting kind of personal because this isn't some hypothetical,
if I were to start a YouTube channel today.
I'm actually in the process of helping my wife start her YouTube channel. So I want to take you behind the scenes of this proven process that I'm taking her through before she ever even hits upload. So in this video, you'll have an understanding of why uploading should not be your first action. You'll also learn how to use data to make sure every idea is proven to be interesting to your audience. And by the end, you'll be confident that every video you're about to make from here on out can have the biggest impact possible. So this whole process kind of starts with research, but before we get into that, let's actually break this up into 3 separate parts. First, let's talk about what you should be doing before you even start researching. Then I'll show you the easiest and the fastest way to find viral video ideas. And then just in case you have a $0 budget, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it for free. That is still easy, but not fast. So this is my wife, Becca. She came to me wanting to start a YouTube channel, and if I'm just being completely honest, this was my external reaction. But this is how I actually felt. And here's the thing, she was ready to start making videos immediately when she saw how much money you can make on YouTube, but I said no. And this is when we started the process. Because our initial idea was to make reviews of baby toys, and maybe she could make some affiliate income by sharing the links and getting a percentage of the things that she talks about. Sounds great, right? But in that process of talking, I asked her, who do you want to make videos for? Because that's the most important thing we need to talk about. So we started fleshing out who that target audience would be, and here's some of the questions that I asked. And what was interesting is I noticed that there was a theme. First of all, she was kind of describing herself, which is fine because she can relate to that person. But the other theme I noticed, everything she was talking about was around this idea of frugality and saving money, which is immediately interesting because finance stuff works really well on YouTube. But when you think about finance niche, you think about like Graham Stephan or Grant Cardone, or like it's a very different type of audience. But what if she created a channel that was more targeted to stay-at-home moms? And the reason that this distinction is so important is because, yeah, finance stuff does really well on YouTube. If I just said finance, you might think like stock market conversations. But the stay-at-home moms, on average, probably don't care about the current status of the stock market. But a finance idea or a type of video that they would be interested in is maybe a video titled How to Feed Your Family for Under $5 a Day. You see that distinction? Both finance, but for completely separate audiences. So before you even dive into research, you have to understand who you're talking to, what are their fears, what are their desires, what are their interests, really understand who this person is. But once we have that locked in, once we know who we're talking to, then we gotta start brainstorming ideas. And when I talk to creators in one-on-one calls and stuff, I see their idea process look a little something like, oh, that's a good idea. But doing that can be a serious waste of time. So the process that I like to go through is looking at data to know that people are interested in the topics that I'm going to cover. Here's the truth. Idea generation is something that not a lot of people are talking about, and I think that's a mistake. And I say that because you've heard a million times that the title and thumbnail are so important to getting the click, but I would argue that the idea is even more important. Because the importance of every element of the video creation process kind of looks something like this. You see how ideas are at the bottom and something like editing style is here on top? And I point this out because it's so easy to get distracted by the things on the upper end of this funnel, thinking that one of these top things are going to really bring you growth. But here's the thing, you could have the most slick edited video, but if your title and thumbnail don't capture attention and don't make you curious, then no one's gonna click on it and no one's gonna see your editing style. So that's why that's more important. But even on top of that, you can have the most amazing video that has the most amazing curiosity-inducing title and thumbnail, but if it's all based around a topic that no one cares about, then it doesn't really matter. No one's going to watch. That's why it's always got to start with idea generation. But the last thing I want you to hear me say is,
oh, okay, just go come up with a bunch of ideas.
Because that could lead you down the wrong path. So what is the key to understanding what ideas work on YouTube? Well, 2 words. Outlier video. This is a fancy word that basically means it's a video that was uploaded to a channel that did way better than the channel's average. So if on average a channel brings in 1,000 views per video and then one video has like 100,000 views, something about that video, the topic, the title, and thumbnail, something was more interesting than the rest of the content. And we don't just want to study them, we want to be a collector of those videos. So what are practical ways that we can become a collector of these killer outlier video ideas? Well, it's a tool called oneof10.com. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below. Full disclosure, if you do click that, I get a little cut of it, but honestly, there is not another tool that does this, and I freaking love it. So first, let's talk about how to use the paid version of this tool, which is going to save you so much time. But then let's talk about how to do this for free, which you can still do, but it's going to just take longer. All right, this is inside the view of oneof10.com. So we'll start by doing a quick search of something that we think our target audience would be interested in. You'll see a whole bunch of outlier videos just like this. But before we do anything, you really have to understand the importance of this number. This number is how many times better a video did on average for the channel. In this case, this channel normally gets about 4,000 views, but this video did 3.3 times better and got 14,000 views. Now the 3.5 times increase, that is good, don't get me wrong, but I'm not super excited about 14,000 views. It's not bad, but it doesn't get me like giddy. So that's where filters come in. We can say only show me results that are at least 2 times better than the average, have 10,000 views of video, and a minimum of 5,000 subscribers on the channel. And you see how it changed the result? I mean, look at this one. She normally gets 40,000 views of video, but this video was such a winner that she got 1 million views. Okay, but what do we actually do with this? Well, this is where we become a collector, and we can actually bookmark this and create a folder with this type of content so we can stay organized. So I'm gonna save that one and just continue to try different search terms and find killer videos just like this one or this one. And what's cool is I don't actually have to come up with a whole bunch of search terms myself, but if I like this video and I want more videos just like that, I can just click this button and we get a ton more to choose from. But collecting all these does absolutely nothing for us if we don't actually know how to use the collection. So what do we actually do with these? Well, I've gone on to save a whole bunch more just to show you how this works. So you can see all of our ideas here, and some of these did really amazing, like 164 times the average of a channel, and it brought in 500,000 views, and on average they're bringing in 3,000 views. So the key here is to look at all this data and find patterns. What do people like to click on? And I've kind of been studying this idea a lot already, so there are definitely patterns that I've been able to spot. I've definitely noticed, and you can see a couple videos here that do it, where they say, these are things I'm not buying anymore. But that's why this is so powerful, because I am not the target audience, so this might not be something I would click on, but that's okay. It gives me an insight into their mind to see what is it that they click on. You can see an example here, or here, or here. So I'm gonna go ahead and write down things I'm not buying as a topic idea. And honestly, don't reinvent the wheel. So what does it look like to do this for free? Because oneof10.com is a paid thing. It is not free, but if you wanted to do this for free, if you didn't have any sort of budget, this is what I would recommend. I would still recommend oneof10.com, but they have a free Chrome extension that you can add on to your browser, and every time you go to YouTube, you can actually see on somebody's channel how this video did in comparison to the other videos on their channel. Finding these ideas will definitely get them to click, but the problem is once they get there, if you don't really grab them with an emotional reason why they should stay, then they're gonna leave. And that's bad for the algorithm. And how you do that is with storytelling. So who better to learn from than the master of storytelling on YouTube himself, Mr. Mark Rober. So what I would highly recommend is clicking this video right here where I break down the tips and techniques that he uses to keep your attention longer so that in turn, he brings in a ton of views.